Greetings and welcome, or welcome back as the case may be. Today is Wednesday, and it's what I usually go with as, writing advice day or writing prompt day or something to that effect. So today it's going to be about advice, and it's going to be on the flip side of advice. And on that, what I mean is one thing you should always take into consideration about writing advice is that some of it is good and some of it is bad. And by that, I mean some of it's going to work for you, some of it's not. For me, for instance, doing morning pages taught me that I don't have to take 3.5 years to draft a story. I can actually do it in a matter of months. So that helped me. If it doesn't help you, I think you should at least try it. But if it doesn't help you, don't do it. If your story you can't think of how you can fit your story into a 3-act, 25-beat structure, don't do it. It's probably good to at least try, because if you're new to the game and you're trying to figure out how to arrange your story, it can be very helpful to fit it to these patterns. But it can also make your story sound a little formulaic. So maybe set it down in that formulaic structure, but then go back and add details and shift things around to how you think the story needs to flow. So take advice. The bottom line is take advice for what it's worth. Considering the source, not everybody is going to be a New York Times bestseller. So that's kind of a wishy-washy thing to say, too. There's a lot of good writers out there who, weren't marketed well or can't market themselves well, and their stories are still good. And their writing advice is still good. So keep that in mind. Work it more from the angle of what works for you and what works for your story. Because in the end, that's what matters. Get your story out there. Get it down on paper. Even if nobody ever sees it but you. Get it down. You can do this. If I can do it, anybody can. I'm sitting here, a scientist, writing about gods, Greek gods and goddesses. Or at least my versions of them. They deviate a little bit from mythology as it's written down and all of that. But the story elements are still mine. And you'd think that they were cut and dry as a bone, and drag on and on and on, kind of like this video. But, we'll have to see. But the writing advice is out there. You'll be bombarded with it if you start looking at YouTube and everything like this, including from me. But in the end, do what works for you. Figure that out. Take your first few stories and just work on, trying different things and seeing how they work. And do they work for you? And on that note, I'll call this video to an end. I hope you've liked it. And if so, give us a thumbs up, give us that like, give us a subscribe. And I'm saying us, me. Yeah, I say weird things like that, but that's because that's what we see and hear, right? So anyway, like, subscribe. Hope to see you next week, and happy writing. Get it done. You can do this. Talk to you later. Bye.